How safe is the food in your kitchen? We should all be eating more fruits and vegetables, but what are the hidden risks? Bryce Wylde is back now. We've heard so much about the dirty dozen.
Yes.
We knew that blueberries, there were certain fruits and certain vegetables that were, manhandled and really gone through pesticides and you really had to wash.
Yep.
That list has kind of changed and evolved over the years for what the new dirty dozen are. There might be some new vegetables and fruit that we need to be thinking about.
Finger on the pulse. So the Environmental Working Group, the subsidiary of the Environmental Protection Agency, I mean, this is big governmental works. Okay, every year comes out with this list. As you've said, dirty dozen, clean 15. But keep in mind, there are hundreds in between that they're looking at. Right. So this is the dirtiest of the dirty and the cleanest of the clean. But let's talk about parameters. What are they actually looking at? By the way, the organic industry, I should frame this up, is a $50 billion industry. We're paying 60% more for these. So are we spending our money wisely? And that's where they really divided this group. Like, where do we really need to spend our money? And where do we not need to be so attentive? Okay, so what are the parameters? The Environmental Working Group are really looking at pesticides. Okay, but I want folks to understand, when we're talking organic and we're talking produce, we're also talking fungicides, we're talking fertilizers, we're also talking about irradiation. So I tell my patients to eat 3 selenium nuts, or rather Brazil nuts a day because they're heavy with selenium. But if they're irradiated, that disrupts the selenium. They've got to be organic to get the organic selenium out of it. So it's literally radiating or radiation on the produce to kill different things as they move through a conveyor belt. And there's also, by the way, the jury's still out as it pertains to GMO, genetically modified. That's what organic is about. But when the Environmental Working Group looks at this list, it's pesticides, okay?
Okay, so it's about pesticides.
It's primarily about pesticides.
Primarily about pesticides. Okay, so what is on our dirty dozen list for the worst, I guess the worst pesticide penetration is on these fruits and vegetables?
Absolutely, and the worst, and this is the worst group, the worst has been strawberries year over year for the last 12 years. Right, so they looked at over 41,000 samples of all these different produce and over 47 different types of produce. Strawberries are the worst. And you got to think to yourself why, and when you think why, you realize quite quickly it's intuitive. There's a lot of pesticides on them because pests love strawberries. They're easy to get out, they're soft, they're low hanging.
Sweet.
Right, they're literally the lowest hanging fruit.
Yes.
So that would be the reason why. But then this list does change. So you can see what's out here: grapes, pears, nectarines, peaches. Kale has hit the list for the first time in 10 years.
So what's going on? Why is kale joining this terrible club?
Yeah, it seems to be demand.
So
kale is the new beef, hence the new demand, and hence it's all business, all about ROI, return on investment. Everyone starts to grow kale, and if you're growing more kale, you got to control. And if you're going to control to meet your ROI, you're going to spray more pesticides. So it's harder to grow organic. By the way, organic are much more shrimpy and much more often wilted. You notice that, right?
I know. So organic, sometimes it just doesn't look as pretty.
No, it's not. And that's because they can't control it with those pesticides as much as they otherwise could or would. So spinach, green leafies are often very high in pesticides. Softness, the texture. You notice all of these fruits and veggies here in particular have soft outer shells or soft skin and or are like sponges, hence the strawberry. Very spongy-like. Or the surface area is tremendous, as in the green leafy. Okay.
Now, if they have these soft skins to them, does that mean the pesticides are penetrating?
Correct. And so you can't, and we'll talk about how to wash it, but you can't wash this off.
You can't wash the inside of a fruit or a vegetable. Okay, so that's good to know.
So
these are the good ones.
You don't have to buy organic when you've got this clean list as it pertains to pesticides. Okay, but if you're concerned about fungicides, you're concerned about fertilizer, irradiation, and of course GMOs, then you want to always buy organic.
Other story,
Absolutely. So the rule of thumb is that thick skin. So the cantaloupe, the avocado, the melons in general, they have a thicker skin. I mean, a pineapple, nothing's getting through that. So they don't spray them with pesticides to begin with. They just don't need it. They have natural defenses. If you permeate your way through an onion, should you get through as a pest, you're going to quickly head the other way. It's like, whoa! So it's general rules of thumb, thicker the skin, but this is the list to go by. It's really the most validated list.
Okay, these are the clean 15 here?
Clean 15 right here.
Let's talk about washing then. Let's say you do get the, one of the dirty vegetables or fruit. What's the best way to get in there and get it off?
When we're talking dirty, we're actually talking E. coli, mishandling of, because we hear about it with meat. We don't think about fruits and vegetables. Imagine me hands. This goes from farm to finish.
I think about it all the time.
Whoa, and you even hear stories like hepatitis and so forth in your grocery store, people sneezing so listen, wash your fruits and vegetables, okay? So you don't need a commercial spray to wash the pesticides out. We just said it, that can't happen, but controlling E. coli and bacteria and other, excrements, in your sink basin, you're just going to add 2 water, okay? A half a cup of salt, any form of salt is fine. And then you're going to do half a cup of vinegar, okay? And this is a really potent anti-E. coli and bacterial mix. And then literally you're just going to dump them in. You're throwing them in, and they're going to soak in there for half an hour. And then remember to rinse these off. I mean, nice cool water, and you rinse them off. End of the day, I want folks to know just washing them helps. You got something like broccoli, lots of little areas in there. Rinse them in vinegar, salt, you're good to go.
Really good, Bryce. Thank you so much for that refresher.